Tomorrow we have an Opposition Day debate on the future of the post offices, which has caused huge controversy up and down the country. This is being a matter of huge concern to many members of Parliament, and interestingly enough, a significant number of Labour members of Parliament have concerns about post offices and their constituencies. So to get everybody to understand what the criteria which are being used by the Post Office actually are, I'm sitting here with Claire Lovett, who's the External Affairs Manager of the Post Office, who I've invited to come and see me this morning ahead of this important debate and ahead of the announcements that will be made within a few days as to the suggestions about which post offices will close in the West Suffolk constituency. And what I've asked Claire to do now is explain what the criteria have been to decide on the future of the post offices. And Claire, it's over to you to explain to us what the process has been.
Right, what we've done is we started the area plan well before now. We wrote to local councils, both to the county councils and district councils, to ask about any new developments, any new buildings, transport links, any new sort of sheltered housing, etc., so that we could see where the potential areas of growth to make sure that our post office is in the right position and fit for purpose from now but also till 2011. So we've done that. So once we've had that, we have looked where our post offices are in a computer model. We've ran through four access criteria, which are the key criteria. The first one is customer sessions. How many people go into a post office, that particular post office, week in, week out? We're taking an average of that. And where we've done that is the computer kit on the counter, the Horizon kit. We've actually used it. We haven't got a tally chart. We've done it that way. The next one is we can see where the receiving branch is, proximity to the next branch over, and also we've gone out and seen if they can actually accommodate people from Post Office A to Post Office B, and also financial implications to Post Office Limited to making these changes, because Post Office Limited are currently losing about £3.5 million a week, and if we don't make these changes currently, it will cause huge instability in the network, and Post Office will just shut. So we're trying to make sure there's stability in the network and it is fit for purpose in the future. So once we've run through that model on paper, desk research, we actually went out and surveyed the area as a whole. So we went people out and walked the actual distances from A to B. They've investigated the disability access, for example, what kind of post offices they are, where they are, looked at the rural community, looked at the communities and the population statistics. So all of that information will be in the branch access reports, which you'll receive a copy of, and also be on our website as well. And then from that, we obviously have talked to the watchdog, Postwatch, and they've also gone out and surveyed the area as well. We've had ongoing discussions, pre-consultation about each individual office to make sure that their thinking is broadly in line with our thinking, and then that's where we got to this stage.
So we're going to know within the next few days
Yeah.
what the suggestions are for which post offices
Yes.
will close, and then there will be a process of consultation,
Yes.
further consultation about this. What is very important for my constituents to know is a very simple answer to this question, which is this. If it is decided that some post offices are going to be closed in my constituency, what assurance will be given that this process will not be revisited in a year's time or 2 years' time? What assurance can there be of what remains in the post office system in my constituency will indeed remain?
No, it's a fair question. The government have given us commitment for a rural network payment, social network payment, because currently there are about 14,000 post offices and 4.5 of them make money for Post Office Limited. So the remaining are subsidised, and that subsidy is being committed, and it's cleared by EU state aid for £150 million a year. So we expect this for no changes unless someone retires or wants to sell the business, obviously business as usual, but no massive changes until 2011, unless obviously a change of government or something else along those lines.
Well, thank you for coming in this morning and explaining your side of the story. Obviously, this is a matter of huge concern to my constituents, but I'm grateful to you for explaining how you've set about this process. We've now heard from the Post Office itself, and in fairness to them, I wanted them to be able to explain what exactly is happening. But let us not underestimate what really underlines this, and it is the attitudes of this government. particularly to our rural way of life. This is a metropolitan-obsessed government which thinks that life outside the cities has no meaning or no resonance. And what they don't understand is that by the closure of post offices and local village shops, often the self-same thing, it leads to a process of isolation and atomization in communities in West Suffolk. There is very limited public transport. We have hugely expensive fuel prices. And so what was once the hub of village life, with the disappearance also of so many pubs, is now going to be increasingly the result of this closure program. But also we have to ask ourselves how the government allowed this whole access program to develop. Has it done its work properly? Has it really investigated the impact on communities by the closure of these post offices? What will be the effect on elderly and disabled people, more isolated than ever? And of course this has been a very flawed and short consultation process, more of which will begin when the proposals on the closures start. So this has been a very bitterly disappointing exercise. And the fact is there is huge hypocrisy in this. So many Labour members of Parliament, including cabinet ministers, are against these closures in their own constituencies, yet they are riding along with this proposed government legislation. I have to say that it is really beyond belief that an accusation is made that the losses of the post office centrally have anything whatsoever to do with the continuation of the smaller post offices in West Suffolk. So I await now, as so many of my constituents have done, wait with some anxiety as to what the result will be. I am very concerned about the future long-term of our post office system, which is very much valued by our communities and the excellent work that our postmasters and postmistresses do. And finally, I would say this. There has been no transparency in this exercise. When post offices in the past have been closed down, we have been unable to get any proper financial information as to their viability. I'm afraid this is Big Brother politics, which again is having a devastating impact on the lives of people. They love their post office system, they want it to continue, and it is no wonder that so many people feel alienated from the political process in this country when politicians behave in such an arbitrary and high-handed way.